Look into my eyes and I will show you $1 billion idea. Okay, maybe this is a little dramatic. It's me. This is my channel. And yes, I am sitting in front of a green screen. Today, we're going to use the power of technology and imagination to travel back in time to when I was born. No, just kidding. We're not doing that. Instead, we're gonna look at how one guy went from homeless to building $1 billion business and what we can learn from him. I like success stories. I like movies about people overcoming adversity because they remind me of myself. When I was younger, I didn't have much money. My first job paying minimum wage was scooping ice cream, and it wasn't enough to make ends meet. So I started working 2 jobs, then 3 jobs. I never thought I would be where I am today, let alone end up a multimillionaire. But I am here to tell you that anything is possible if you have big dreams and are willing to work hard. A lot of us think that only luck or being born with a silver spoon gets people to the top. But after interviewing hundreds of successful entrepreneurs, I found out that many of them were actually poor at some point. Many were even homeless. Now, there are no guarantees in life, but these guys turned their situation around, and so can you. The first person we're meeting today, William Henry Gates III, or Bill Gates, grew up in a middle-class neighborhood in Lakeside, Washington. His dad was a lawyer and his mom worked for a bank. But despite having some advantages, Bill's family was far from wealthy. He experienced poverty firsthand and he knew what it was like to struggle financially. When he was 11 years old, his parents divorced and his dad married another woman. Bill moved in with his mother and his younger brother, and they lived in a modest 2-bedroom house. They weren't poor by any means, but they definitely weren't rich either. Bill was determined to succeed, so he studied hard in school and eventually graduated from Lakeside High School in 1973. He enrolled in Harvard University, but dropped out after 2 years to co-found Microsoft with Paul Allen. Today, he has an estimated net worth of over $100 billion, making him one of the richest people in the world. Bill's story inspires me because it shows that even if you come from humble beginnings, you can still accomplish extraordinary things. He had big dreams and was willing to work hard to make them a reality. Although he attended college, he decided that it wasn't worth staying there when he could make more money elsewhere. Even though he left without a degree, Bill proved that street smarts and a willingness to learn are just as important as formal education. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to college or get a good education. What I am saying is that you don't need a fancy piece of paper to be successful. If you have the drive and determination to succeed, you can do it regardless of your background. Our next billionaire, Sir Richard Branson, didn't have it easy growing up. Born in London in 1950, he had dyslexia, which made it difficult for him to read and write. Despite his difficulties, Branson was a bright spark and a natural entrepreneur. He started his first business at age 16 with a magazine called Student. It wasn't a huge success, but it gave him the confidence to take on bigger challenges. In 1970, Branson founded the record label Virgin Records, and it quickly became one of the most successful independent labels in the world. He then expanded his empire to include airlines, mobile phone companies, spaceships, and more. Today, he has an estimated net worth of over $450 million. Richard's story inspires me because he never let his dyslexia hold him back. He was a risk taker and wasn't afraid to take on new challenges. He also understood the importance of giving back and has donated millions of dollars to charity. Now, if you're struggling with something, whether it be dyslexia, financial hardship, or anything else, don't let it stop you from achieving your dreams. There are so many resources available to help you overcome your challenges and succeed. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. It's okay to be vulnerable. That's how you grow. Next up, we got Steve Jobs. We all know Apple today, right? Well, the man behind the genius ideas that led Apple to become one of the most valuable brands in the world struggled with his own personal problems. Steve grew up in the United States and was adopted at birth. He was always curious and loved tinkering with things, which got him into trouble sometimes. As a teenager, he became fascinated with electronics and computers and dropped out of college to co-found Apple Computer Inc. with Steve Wozniak. After some successes and failures, including getting fired from Apple, Jobs returned to the company in 1997 and led it to become the most valuable technology company in the world. Unfortunately, Jobs passed away in 2011, but his legacy lives on. Not only did he change the way we use computers and smartphones, but he also inspired millions of people around the world with his passion and creativity. I love Steve's story because it shows that you do and need to follow the traditional path to find success. He was a visionary and wasn't afraid to think outside the box. He also showed us the importance of following our passions and pursuing our dreams, even when others doubt us. But honestly, if we really want to understand the person, we can't just look at the highlight reel. So now we're gonna talk about what it was like when things weren't going well. Growing up, Steve Jobs was in and out of foster homes and group homes. He was never really accepted by his peers and often felt like an outsider. He struggled with anger issues and substance abuse, but eventually got clean and sober. In 1986, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and given a 5% chance of survival. He underwent surgery and a series of other treatments and miraculously recovered. This experience changed his perspective on life and made him realize how precious it was. He went on to found Next Inc., a computer software company, and later acquired by Apple in 1997. His return to Apple marked a turning point in the company's history. Under his leadership, Apple released some of its most iconic products, including the iMac, iPod, iPhone, and iPad. These products changed the way we use computers and smartphones forever. So why am I sharing all this? Because Steve Jobs was a real person with real problems who achieved extraordinary things. He wasn't perfect. He made mistakes and had setbacks, but he never gave up. He was passionate about what he did and wanted to make a difference in the world. We can all learn from Steve's story. If you're struggling with personal problems or facing setbacks, don't give up. Keep going. Success is never easy and requires hard work, dedication, and resilience. But with the right mindset, anything is possible. And that's what we're learning from someone who literally came from nothing. Meet Nick Vujicic. Born in 1982 in Melbourne, Australia, Nick was diagnosed with tetraamelia syndrome, a rare disorder that affects limb development in the womb. This meant that he was born without arms or legs. Despite the challenges he faced, Nick refused to give up. He was determined to live a full and meaningful life. He learned to swim, surf, and drive a car and eventually became a motivational speaker. He has traveled all over the world, speaking to people about the importance of following your dreams and never giving up. Now, Nick's story is truly inspiring. He teaches us that physical limitations don't define who you are and that you can achieve anything if you set your mind to it. He has written several books, started a foundation, and appeared on television shows and documentaries worldwide. But beyond his accomplishments, what impresses me the most about Nick is his positive attitude and sense of humor. He doesn't let his condition define him or bring him down. Instead, he makes light of the situation and uses it to connect with others. Nick says, "If life gives you lemons, buy tequila." That's right. Nick knows that complaining won't solve anything. It's better to take control of the situation and make the best of it. He doesn't wait for things to happen to him. He makes things happen. Another quote that Nick lives by is, "Challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life a meaningful journey." Challenges are a part of life, and we can't avoid them. That how we respond to those challenges defines who we are. Nick doesn't shy away from challenges. He embraces them and uses them to grow and learn. For example, when he was a kid and couldn't tie his shoes, he didn't complain or ask for someone to do it for him. He figured it out. He used his mouth and his teeth to tie his shoes. And that's the kind of mentality that we need to adopt in our lives. We can't let challenges defeat us. We have to keep going and find solutions. As Nick says, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. So remember this, friends. No matter what challenges you face in life, you can overcome them if you have the right mindset. Don't let your circumstances define you. Define yourself. Set goals, take action, and never give up. Life is a journey, and the challenges you face along the way are what make it interesting. How you respond to those challenges is what makes it meaningful. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more great content. Remember, you can achieve anything you set your mind to, believe in yourself, and never give up.